like, what was the breaking point? I think a lot of people want to know this one. Like, what was the breaking point that made you want to buy Twitter?
Well, I mean, first of all, I suppose if Twitter had been, if I'd been able to buy Twitter sooner, then I might have actually done that. But there had to be a situation where my liquidity was enough and Twitter's value was, whether there was essentially a closing price. Like, would I actually have buy it? That wasn't the case until recently. But I guess it just felt like it really had been building for some time. So I wouldn't say there was it wasn't like a step change suddenly. This is a one thing. It's not like, oh, the Babylon Bee got banned, that's why I bought Twitter. That would be crazy. It's more that there just seemed to be like this more and more groupthink amongst the media, more and more sort of towing the line amongst digital social media companies, and basically just we're traveling the path more and more of suppression of free speech, and this was just getting me concerned. It's like the trends were just very, very bad. So unless something was done to reverse this trend against free speech, then I felt, well, maybe that at some point everything will just get cut off, and unless you're in agreement with whatever the groupthink is, then you're just going to be ostracized, or your voice will be shut off. So like I said, it wasn't any one thing. It was just like, okay, I think I can't exactly say why, because it's like one of those things where it's like it's just that my biological neural nets said it is important to buy Twitter, and just like with a digital neural net, you can't really exactly explain why the neural net is able to understand an image or text, but just say that the collective result of the neural net says that this is an important action, or this is the right action, and my biological neural nets concluded that it was important to buy Twitter, and that if Twitter was not bought and steered in a good direction, that it would be a danger for the future of civilization, and so that's why I bought it.
The disinformation
to have bots and trolls. It can't be like
It's like a guy sitting in front of 8 phones, right? That's just how they operate.
exactly. It's like
The farms are guys sitting in front of 8 phones.
there's like.
Well, unfortunately, the disinformation budget for the CIA for these NAFO bots is over $100 million. I mean, even if you throw $8 per month per account in front of them, it's not. Is that really going to stop them?
Not the $8. If it was purely a question, then I think they could overcome a budget challenge, but also then having to have a huge number of phones and a huge number of credit or debit cards, these all amplify the difficulty, and then having, if you want to do it such that that you can't find any connection between 100,000 phones and 100,000 credit cards and 100,000 authenticated phone numbers, that's very difficult to do. Just the logistical difficulty of that is extremely high. So it's more like you need to process some amount of money through the payment system in order to piggyback off the authentication of the payment system. So $8 is kind of like a random number, obviously. But there's another thing that has to be accomplished simultaneously, which is that Twitter cannot be like so heavily dependent on advertisers. So this is an attempt to kill two birds with one stone, which is build a source of revenue that is not advertiser dependent, so the advertisers do not have too much sway over what happens on Twitter, and also use the payment system as an additional means of identifying and stopping large-scale manipulation of the system.
And just to
So,
add on to that, when you
in
have
other
a lot of
words,
users
just one
signing
second,
up, the advertisers are going to
one second.
realize that these are real
Hello.
people, right? They're all verified individuals. So that will make them want to advertise on the site. So it's win
Hey,
win win, right?
Yes.
let's just
Hey,
not
Kim,
talk
can I
over
ask
each
a
other
quick
all the time.
follow-up to my question? Would you mind? Elon, I'm just...
Okay, I have to I have to just stop this for a second because everyone is talking over each other. Elon just made a really important point, which is that he has more freedom to do what is good for his users if he is less dependent on advertisers. So there's a large group of people here. I think everyone who appreciates what Elon is doing for us right now in this fight for freedom of speech should support him. And the best way you can support him is to become a subscriber at Twitter. You're using this great service all the time. If you want him to have more power and more freedom to achieve these goals for us, well, make that $8 a month investment. I think it's really worth it.
The price of a
Did
latte.
Elon already say when he plans to reinstate the verification, the $8 verification process?
Yeah,
Elon, you're muted,
you're
just in
muted. Yeah, I was
case.
going to tell you because Kim muted everyone.
Sorry, it seems to sometimes mute me, I guess. Yeah, so I think we're probably about a week away. Maybe basically this coming week we should be able to restart the verification process.
Will it be global or is it just the US still?
Um, Actually, I'm going to discuss that with the team. So this time for verification, we're taking some additional steps where the one has to be phone verified with a known good carrier, a known good phone carrier, and we're also will offer people the opportunity if they want to do ID verification, kind of like what Airbnb does, similar thing, and they do that all around the world. And then you'll be able to look at an account and say this account is payment verified, it is verified, it is ID verified, optionally, and also to establish organizational affiliation. Do you actually have affiliation with this organization? And providing organizations with the ability to define to state which set of users are affiliated with that organization. So, like, are you actually a professor at Stanford, or are you actually, for example, a reporter at the New York Times or whatever, or an employee of a PepsiCo or whatever it is? So, just generally to have granularity and nuance to what verified means, as opposed to the sort of like grab bag of nonsense, which has been the past blue verified situation, where you could have been an intern at Mashable 10 years ago, and now you've got blue verified, and it's kind of crazy. And then they were also just being traded constantly. You just buy a verified badge. So you can't actually tell if something is blue for legacy blue. You can't tell if that is a legitimate situation, a crypto scam, whether they're actually you don't know because there's no granularity to it. And there was
Yeah, there's a way to buy
a
them
lot of
off of Google right now. Like you can literally Google verified accounts and they sell them for like $200, $500 or something, right?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. It's not like blue It's not like you have to go to the in quotes dark web to buy blue verified. You can literally Google search it and it's on page 1 of the Google search results if you want to
Yeah,
buy a
it's
legacy
cheap.
blue verified. So it's just basically it's just the legacy blue verified is a corrupt garbage pile. And so we need to move forward with something that gives granularity and detail and nuance about the nature of the verification, and so that you can actually trust what you see.